Welcome and thanks for joining me on this video, travel information and helpful hints for fly fishing on the Bull River in BC, Canada. So we're going to start, and I'm just going to try and go through this, working through websites and showing you information that we found out. So here we have a shot of the Bull River, and you can see we're Washington, Idaho, BC. And I understand that at this point, traveling is, you're not able to travel as we work through the COVID situation up into BC from the United States. But when this is done and we can travel again, this information should help you to be able to fish the Bull River. So we're going to zoom in, and you can see, get a little closer. We stayed in Cranbrook, and I'll give you some hotels and fly shops here in a little bit. But I wanted to show you the Bull River system. So here's Cranbrook, and then I want to show you also Fernie. So here's Fernie, and basically the Bull River, you're going to run in between Fernie and the mouth where it comes into the Kootenai. So here you can see the Bull River. And I'm not going to tell you exactly where we fish, but I just want to show you the stretches of it where you can fish. And I believe this whole stretch all the way up through, I'll zoom back out again, all the way up through into here is where you can fish. And there's just a lot of river. And there are tributaries of the Bull also that you can fish. So just there is a ton of river, lots of river miles. And again, we are Fernie here. Cranbrook is where we stayed, and you can get to the Bull River from Fernie through some roads up into the mountains, or you can come down to Cranbrook and go up the Bull River from the lower end. And either way, definitely get some information from local fly shops. I know the roads can be a little bit rough getting in, particularly from the mouth. So just make sure you know what you're getting into as far as four-wheel drive needed or anything like that, particularly if the weather is a little bit rough. So, but that's the area, that's the Bull River, and that's where we fished. So again, like I said, we traveled and stayed in Cranbrook, and then we drove out Highway 95 and then 93, crossed the Kootenai, and then worked our way up the Bull River. And again, you can do that from there, or you can do that from Fernie. The next thing I wanted to show you is the where we stayed. And there are lots of places to stay in Cranbrook, and there's lots of reasonable places, or you can spend more money. There's lodges, there's fancier places. We stayed at the Model A Inn right in Cranbrook. It was a really nice hotel or inn. The room was nice. It was not too expensive, so we felt really good, about where we stayed. But again, there's lots of different places to stay in Cranbrook, and there's a lot of also other amenities, Walmart, restaurants, lots of fast food restaurants and things like that. So you can get just about anything you need in Cranbrook, and you're just a little ways away from the river, about a half an hour drive to the river. Fly shops in the area. One of the things we went to St. Mary Angler in Cranbrook. They were very helpful. I would highly suggest this fly shop. And just a reminder that we're not getting any benefit from this. I'm not getting any money from St. Mary Angler. We just went there. They gave us good information. They suggested flies. They've got a nice selection of flies and items to purchase, as well as friendly. And they do have a guide service there as well if you're interested in working through them for a guided trip. Another fly shop in the area that's a little further away, and we actually didn't visit this, I just Googled this, but the Kimberly Raft and Fly Shop in Kimberly, it's a little further away. And of course, there are fly shops in Fernie, Most people are familiar, if you've fished in BC at all, with the Fernie area because of the Elk River and the Kootenai Fly Shop there, and I think the Elk River Fly Shop is another one. I'm not sure, but there's a couple of fly shops in Fernie as well. And another thing that I wanted to talk about, there are also lots of guide services in the area. You can Google that and find them. We didn't use any, so I don't really have any recommendations for you. I saw several. I saw one called the Ultimate West Fly Fishing Adventures, something like that. It was an Orvis endorsed guide, so lots of opportunities for that. Another thing that can often be important when you're planning a trip to an area like this is what other rivers or fishing opportunities are in the area around that. And there are quite a few in this area. Of course, many of you would be familiar with Fernie area and the rivers. Of course, the Elk River flows through Fernie. You have the Wigwam coming into the Elk River. You have the Michelle Creek and other, the Upper Elk. There's quite a few places to fish in that area, and you're really not too far from jumping over into Alberta as well, and the Crow's Nest and those kinds of things. There also is some up if you go the other way out of Cranbrook. If you head up towards the north, of course, you have the Kootenai River, which is a really big river, but there's fishing opportunities there. You have the St. Mary River over here by Kimberley, and that can be good. I don't know as much about the St. Mary River, but I know it can be good fishing. The Skookumchuck is up around the town of Skookumchuck. And then, of course, you have some other lakes and that in the area there. So those are some of the rivers that you could plan to fish while you're in the area fishing the Bull River. Another one, there is Sheep Creek that comes off of the Skookumchuck River, and I believe it's right in this area here. And it's small, and there's not as much opportunity there, but it is a possibility. And I'm sure that just scratches the surface of the opportunities that are in the area, particularly if you want to do a guided trip where, then they can give you some other local tips and ideas. The last really important information that I can think of as you plan a trip is the licensing. And of course, for BC, you need a license, and you can buy just a different variety of licenses. Here's their licensing website. You click on you can look for vendors too, but you can also sign up here and go through this system to get your licenses. And I'm not going to log into this now, but just so you know, you need a license, so you can buy a day license or a week license. I don't know exactly all of the things that are available, but you would look in and find that out. And then they also have, of course, the classified waters system. And so part of that, you need to figure out what water you want to fish, what classification it is, what the permitting system is for it, and then plan ahead. There are some rivers that are extremely busy and you need to plan way ahead. The Bull, it did not seem like it was like that. You might call a fly shop, St. Mary Fly Shop, and just verify that before you don't plan too far ahead. So I would check and see, but it didn't seem like it was too busy. Along with the license, the permitting system is typically $20 a day, and it varies by river how busy it is. The Bull River did not seem to be too bad as far as being able to get them on short notice. But again, I would check and make sure that that's correct. And then also, of course, if you're doing it yourself, it's a little more difficult to get the permits. If you are going with a guide, then they tend to have quite a few permits, so you can get it through them. So it just kind of depends on what you're doing. But the main thing that I would suggest for this is, one, you need to know there is a classified permit system, classified waters permitting system, and you should probably do some planning in advance with that to make sure that you can fish those rivers on the days that you want to go. The only other regulation that I can think of that's quite a bit different than a lot of other areas is that you can only fish with one fly, be it a dry fly or a nymph, whatever it may be. Most people in BC, particularly the locals, just fish with dry flies only, or maybe streamers for bull trout. But again, one fly is all you can fish with at a time. So you should know all the regulations, but that's the biggest one that's different. I hope this helps. If there's other things that you think of as you watch this video that you'd like information about in the future, please post in the comments and let me know. Otherwise, I hope this gives you a good head start on your adventure exploring BC when we can get back up there again. Or if you're already in BC, then you're the lucky ones. You can use this to help you fish right now. But again, thanks for watching, and good luck fishing. Thanks for watching, and good luck out there fishing.